Are you a cruiser looking for a never-before-seen cruise experience? Does an adult-only luxury cruise ship and private beach club in the Caribbean sound like your style? What about the all-inclusive foodie paradise on board said luxury cruise ship? If all of this is screaming your name, then this is the perfect episode for you. Hey, I'm Steph, and I'm obsessed with all things travel, marketing, branding, and helping you stand out from the crowd. In just under 2 years, I went from being a home-based travel agent with zero clue how to make it work in the digital world to launching an international ranking travel podcast and creating an online course to help travel agents in lead generation. Here's one thing I know for sure. There has never in the history of the world been a better time to create the travel business you've always wanted. All you need is an actionable strategy and someone to show you the way. Picture this, we're going to spend the next hour of our time together at the Swim Up Pool Bar, where over a cocktail, we deep dive into travel-related topics, mixed with a little classroom training. This show is dedicated to encouraging you to step outside of your comfort zone and into your travel business. I'll show you how I did it and how you can too. Hit subscribe now and let's get into it. If you're a travel agent wanting to onboard your perfect fit clients into your biz, download my free cheat sheet for lead generation systems you can use right now. Head to stephaniemyers.academy/cheat sheet. You're listening to Unplug in Paradise, the podcast. Hello there and welcome back to Unplug in Paradise. If we have not yet met, my name is Stephanie Myers and I'm your travel agent and host. I hope you're having the most beautiful day today. It's so gorgeous here on the sunny southern end of the Gold Coast. So whether you're out and about today in the car or you're running errands, out for a walk, this episode will be sure to get those travel bugs flying and those sea legs dancing. Today I have the absolute pleasure of interviewing Australia's guest service agent for Virgin Voyages. If you haven't yet heard, Sir Richard Branson has released his own cruise line. And let me tell you, I've been so excited to share this episode with you as Virgin Voyages have really moved the needle away from traditional styles of cruising and as a fact has created his own unique style for the rebels amongst us all. Virgin is a very well-known company, as you may or may not know, so whether you fly with them, stay with them, play with them, or sail with them, their wheelhouse is always providing that really high-level attention to detail and premium service throughout all of their businesses, so the consistency is very much key. And on that note, a little word of warning, today's guest has a lot of cruising experience and sea days under her belt. And she also specialises in numerous other styles of cruise as well. But we're here to soon find out why Virgin Voyages is now her all-time favourite. So, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Welcome to Unplug in Paradise, Sharon.
Oh, thank you so much, Stephanie, for having me on your podcast.
Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how excited I am to be speaking with you today, especially about the most diverse cruise company in the world, Virgin Voyages.
I'm so excited to be here and be able to share some information. I mean, it hasn't been the best year to launch a new cruise line, but we're ahead of the curve. We're ahead of the game with all of the social distancing measures and everything that's been put in place to really enhance cruising for future cruise travellers. we already had a lot of these things already implemented in this brand new cruise line. So it's a really easy transition for us, and we can't wait to get some sailors on board. And that is the best thing, because we've never actually had anyone on board our ships before. So they'll be fresh and new when we finally launch in 2021.
Oh, I'm so excited, Shaz. Before we begin, please join me while we recognise the generations of the local Aboriginal people of the Bundjalung Nation who have lived in and derived their physical and spiritual needs from the forests, rivers, lakes and streams of this beautiful valley over thousands of years as the traditional owners and custodians of these lands. In today's episode, we will be diving into the incredible new cruise line by Sir Richard Branson, Virgin Voyages, which, if you were to sum up the brand message in a few words, it would be rebellious luxe.
Correct.
This cruise company is going to turn the cruise industry on its head like nothing we've ever witnessed before in the cruising industry. But before we get into that, I would really like to officially introduce the beautiful Sharon Hando, our guest service agent for Virgin Voyages here in Australia and our much-loved national sales rep for Travel the World.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Stephanie, for putting these podcasts together. They're so interesting. You're doing a great job. We really appreciate it.
You've had a really special beginning in the travel industry, and I really love reading your story about how it all started for you when you were working in the travel agency with your mum.
Well, I wasn't really working so much. I would say it was free labour. So maybe I was working, but just not getting paid for it. So the implication of work means that you generally get paid for it. But no, my mum had an agency, and I grew up with her in the agency. And when I was in primary school, the agency was actually across the road from my primary school. So I would be there before school. At lunchtime, we were allocated a certain amount of space that we could go across the road to these shops, and the agency fell within that space. So I was often there at lunchtime, generally just to get a little bit of money for tuck shop or to buy something from the milk bar. And, of course, after school, where it was stamping brochures, writing tickets. And then that was in New South Wales, in Sydney. When we moved to Queensland, again, I was within walking distance from my high school, and I was sending telexes, again, still writing tickets, stamping brochures, doing everything that everybody else got paid for free. So I've never known anything different is basically what I'm saying. So it's been my upbringing, it's been my life. But I've never sat on your side of the desk as a retail agent.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been on the other side where I've been working with the supplier or in a wholesale position or as a tour guide. I was a tour guide in Europe as well.
Oh, cool. I know that you've got a really big love and passion for cruising. How many cruises have you been on, Shaz?
Well, I'm not one that keeps count, and I know a lot of people do, but it's well over 100.
My gosh.
And I started early, like in the old days when cruising used to be, as you left a port, there was a big fanfare with the streamers. And what used to make me laugh is that you could have all of your friends on board when you were leaving. So any friends could come on board, they could check out your cabin, they could check out the ship. There was no security about it. And then they'd ring a bell and all your guests just got off, just because it was the right thing to do. Not always got off. I'm sure there's a lot of stowaways, but I know our friends used to get off, and it was just this thing that you did because it was the right thing to do. And then they'd throw streamers and off you'd leave and sail away out of the harbour. And every port that you left was incredible because it was a real sail away experience and a real party on deck as you came into or left any port.
I love it. I wonder whether when we go back to cruising after COVID, whether it would go back to the same as that, celebrating every single departure that goes in.
I think, well, definitely when those first cruises leave Sydney Harbour, it'll be enormous celebrations, like yay. Those of us that love cruising, we know that it's just such a special experience. And I find when I come home from any cruise, the person that I miss the most is my cabin steward, because all of a sudden I'm faced with the reality of making my own bed, getting my own cups of tea, doing all of these chores for myself. So it's not as much fun when I come home.
Cook dinner and go to the shops and actually do.
It's so much more challenging to do it. It's a real slap in the face of reality when you get off a cruise, when you've been pampered and looked after. And I have to say that is why I love it so much. I love being looked after, and I really, truly feel like I'm on a holiday when I'm on a cruise.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
easy.
Yeah, exactly. Something about the salt air and being waited on. Like, what's love?
Oh, I think I suit that lifestyle very nicely.
I'm with you, Shaz. So let's jump into Virgin Voyages. Can you start off with a snapshot of the ships, the destinations they're traveling to, and how their journey has been coming into the cruise industry so far?
Well, I'll start with the journey. The journey has been a long time in the making. Sir Richard Branson had a vision when he was in his 20s that he wanted to create a cruise line. And then he had, in his 30s, he thought, yeah, I'm going to do it this decade. And in his 40s, the same. And he waited until he's actually now just this year turned 70. And he's finally created this incredible cruise line, which will have 4 beautiful yacht-inspired boutique hotels at sea. And it will be phenomenal, and it really is already turning the cruise industry on its head with some really innovative designs on board and inclusions on board. Now, so he had this vision, of course, of all years to launch a cruise line. 2020 probably wasn't ideal, but that's okay. We have incredible backers behind us with a private equity group with very, very deep pockets that are continuing and can't wait to actually get Virgin Voyages at sea. So at the moment, we are set to launch in January, but that we'll wait and see. So currently our first ship, which is Scarlet Lady, we launched her last year. We had a couple of sailings around, but no actual customers on board yet, just to make sure everything was okay. She's currently parked waiting for her first voyage, which will be in the Caribbean. So we've got 4, 5 and 7 night itineraries in the Caribbean. And then her second sister ship, which is Valiant Lady, strong, valiant woman, she will be setting sail in the Mediterranean, which is very exciting for our Australian guests because we love the Med so much, with 7 night itineraries that have overnights in Ibiza. So in and out of our home port, which is Barcelona. So some really, really nice, exciting itineraries that go to different destinations that not everybody else goes to. But it will be really nice to see. Now, our 3rd and 4th ships are yet to be named, but they will be our 3rd and 4th ladies, launching those in 2022 and 2023 respectively, which will allow us to have the world, well covered for the really sought after destinations that our sailors, who we refer to our guests on board, like to travel to.
Wow. I wonder if they're going to come to Australia. Is there any hints?
There was some hints. We really expect that Australia will be a great destination for Virgin Voyages. Yeah. And the Australian guests, our sailors, really understand the Virgin way. And there was a lot of early excitement with Virgin Voyages from our Australian sailors because they like it. They like that boutique hotel at sea style with over 20 different eateries that are all included in the price, that you can go and dine at whenever you want with whomever you want with no extra costs involved. It really is, think of a super yacht, and that's the inspiration behind the design. And then on board experiences like going to a small town at sea where you've got multiple choices of what you can do, who you can do it with, and where you can dine without having to put your hand in your pocket. A lot of really innovative technologies on board to make sure that you're not having to carry anything around. We have what's called like a wearable, and I think of it like a really attractive Fitbit that you'll wear around your wrist, and that's your access to your rooms and your access to every activity on board, and how we can really easily identify who you are.
Wow. Yes, that is amazing. I love that. And being able to not have to carry anything around with you.
It's nice. Yep.
Just
Absolutely. Think of it as our sailors are really, it's an adult by design experience at sea, and it's really where the tranquility of cruising meets the curiosity of our sailors. And you can have late nights under the stars out and about, but you can also have these really lovely restorative mornings where you can go to all the group fitness classes, which are all included as well. So it's all about detox, retox, I suppose. It's a really lovely balance, and you can be as involved like on any cruise line or as uninvolved as you like, whether you're just in there to dine and sit by the pool and let the days sail away, or you get really active and get involved in every activity on board, which is what I like to do. I'm a serious FOMO. I don't like to miss out on anything. So our sailors really who they are. They want to be surrounded by a gorgeous design ship. They want to splurge on quality experiences, and it's all about being able to share all these experiences, great photos that you can take on board. And we've included Wi-Fi so that our guests can actually share it with everybody around the world as it happens. What's the point of having the most beautiful ships at sea if you can't tell people about it? Pop it up there on Instagram straight away. And, you can try all of those great hot places to eat. We've got a Korean barbecue restaurant on board with a great innovation with these fans that are really silent, and it allows all of the fumes to be taken away. We can fit 200 people in that restaurant. It's adhering to social distancing as well. We don't have any buffets on board, and we've never had buffets on board. It's rather you say what you want. You can go to our taco shack. You can say, yep, I want some tacos. We'll have them plated and made fresh for you. A serving size, for example, is 3 tacos. If you want to have 6 tacos, come back and get some more, no problems. We've got a pizza place, which, the name is called The Pizza Place. And
love it. Easy to find in the middle of the night.
Yeah, easy peasy, but it's not slices. It's a full pizza that is made for you.
Oh, cool.
So it's just taking it that next step.
I love it. So out of all the worldly experiences you've had cruising, Shaz, are these some of the most unique experiences that you've ever had or come across on board a cruise ship?
I think I've had the pleasure of cruising to so many different destinations, and the destinations around the world are amazing. I think the Virgin Voyages lady ships will have that unique experience on board, taking you to some of the favorite destinations around the world. So being able to be not feeling like you're being herded everywhere, to have these really innovative, clever cabins that you are staying in as well. And if I can just touch on this, what I love about the cabins is that they have, in our sea terraces, which you would know them more as a balcony cabin, it has that boutique hotel feel, but the bed, for example, during the day, the cabin crew will change the design of the bed into a lounge so that you feel that if you're inviting guests back to your cabin, that you're not having your guests sit on your bed. They're actually sitting on a lounge. Come the evening, then your cabin crew will restore the lounge back as a bed. But it's important to note that it's a bed first and a lounge second. So it's incredibly comfortable.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. And you've got a few different suites too, Shaz, like the Rockstar suite.
Yeah, we call them our Rockstar quarters and our mega Rockstar quarters. And they are absolutely amazing. They're huge, absolutely huge. And they give access to our guests to a rooftop terrace, which is Richard's rooftop terrace. But there's a Rockstar agent service. There's a early access to any of the bookable experiences that we have on board. There's a personalized in-room bar with the first round of it is on us. There's a daily pressing service. There's pack and unpack services. And when we're traveling in the Caribbean, we have built an incredibly beautiful beach club on the island of Bimini. Now, the island of Bimini is not owned by Virgin Voyages. Rather, it's a cultural experience for our guests where it's a deep water port so that we can come across onto the jetty. Guests can get off and then we'll be transferred to the beach club. And every experience and everything included that they have on the ship is also included at the beach club. So all of your nibbles and your food is all included. All our soft beverages are all included throughout. And you will find that they can come and lounge at this beautiful beach club or have the cultural experience with the people that actually live on Bimini. Now, we will arrive there early in the morning, and on some itineraries not leave till midnight. So you'll have the day experience, and then these incredible bonfires, which are inspired by Necker Island, which is Richard's private island. And you can have these incredible bonfires of an evening and sit around and really enjoy it. We'll bring on great DJs and really pump some beautiful music around the pool. So it's got an incredibly exciting vibe. Or you can sneak away and just lie in a lovely hammock and read a book. So it really is up to you what sort of experience that you do have. So if you are in one of our Rockstar quarters or Mega Rockstar quarters, there's also a VIP access at the beach club at Bimini that you will have.
That's incredible. Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, look, I myself can't wait to get on board. I was days away from being on board when COVID-19 hit. But that's okay. So from a size perspective, I wanted to just point out that we have up to 2,700 guests on board, but we have reduced the numbers to align with the new policy with cruising moving forward. So we will be less than that, but that's across 17 different decks and with 1,150 crew on board to make sure they're there to look after our guests.
Okay, so sorry, what was the number of total guests that have been reduced?
It's still to be determined. There is not an actual number, but you will feel really comfortable to see that there will be approximately, and let me just do the maths, approximately 1,800 guests on board.
Wow. And if you were to put that into like perspective with Australian ships, if you cruise out of Australia, those ships, they're mostly only 2,000 guests at maximum capacity. So that's less than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
A luxurious ship all to yourself.
Yeah. So, and remember that with no main dining room, we've got those 20 plus different eateries. There's no wasteful buffets. There's no assigned seating. We cover all the basic beverages like water, coffee, teas, sodas, basic coffees, I mean by that. And then we've got bars in every one of the different restaurants. Now, what people can do is they can purchase an onboard credit before they go on holidays, and that onboard credit is like a beverage. They can use it as a beverage tab, and then they can use it for anything else. And that onboard credit is really something that is exciting to use. And we've got a couple of special things to look out for coming up soon, Stephanie, that they can certainly all your listeners can ask you about, where there will be a bonus for what you purchase an onboard credit, and then there will be an extra bonus on top of that we will gift our sailors.
Love it. Yes, super keen for that. Thanks, Sharon.
No problem. A lot of people ask us about beverage packages and why we haven't actually gone down that path. And the reason is because not everybody drinks. Probably not anyone that I know, but some people out there don't drink, and they're not big drinkers, and they don't want to feel like they have to purchase a beverage package to get value. So we've made the beverages really good value. They are all available online, so you can see all the prices. It's not only shop captured tactics when you get on board.
Yes.
So we have made them very affordable, and you can, for those, you might have one drinker in the family and someone who doesn't drink. So that just allows one person to go to the spa and one person to go to the bar. And you can spend your money any way you want.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, I'm not a big alcohol person. Like, I quite enjoy a cocktail.
Yep.
But, I'm lame. I will sit on that cocktail for an hour. I'll wait for the ice to melt so it will last longer.
I've heard that there were people out there like that.
Yeah.
So, and then there's all those others that want to work their way through the cocktail list. What we're trying to
Yes.
do the whole time is really alleviate any wastage. So often when you have a beverage package, sometimes people will go, yeah, I don't like that, and they'll just leave the waste. But when you've paid for it, you do tend to finish what you've drunk, finish everything else. So we're all about sustainability, and we want to make sure that we're sustainable through to the drinks that you purchased, the emissions from the ship, the no plastics on board. We have green tech housekeeping. We use reef safe sunscreen. We really are working on the efficiencies. We've got tinted windows, LED lighting. There's room sensors so that when you leave a room, the curtains will close, the lights will dim, and when you come back with your armband that you're wearing, your wristband that you're wearing, and they know that it's you, your cabin opens, your blinds will open, the air conditioning will boot up, the lights will come on. So it is really all about sustainability and protecting the environment.
Yeah, the smartest ship in the world by the
Oh, very, very clever. Absolutely. Very, very clever.
Can you let us know what are some of the firsts that, so say if you're an experienced cruiser, what are some of the firsts that you will experience when you jump on a Virgin Voyage, either on Scarlet Lady or Valiant Lady at this point in time? What are some really unique, key things that no one's ever seen at sea before?
Oh, okay. Well, free Wi-Fi is definitely one of them that you're going to have access to. So that's nice. Made to order food. Every eatery has its own kitchen and its own executive chef. All our food is fresh and it's made to order and it's never mass produced. So that's good. So we've got lots of vegan options, gluten-free options. We've got a vegetarian restaurant called Razzle Dazzle. But if you're not vegetarian but you like what's happening in there, then certainly you can go into that restaurant, and then you've got some naughty sides that you can have, which are meat sides. So that's really exciting. So when it comes to the food and things that are happening on board and the technology on board, knowing who you are and recognizing who you are and what your likes are and dislikes are when you come on board. So that's really important. But our entertainment, I think, is really unique. So we've got a nightclub, for example, that when it opens as a smaller nightclub, but as guests come on board the ship and come into the nightclub, then the nightclub expands. So a second room will open as more people come in, because if you're the first person in there and you walk in, you go, oh, there's only 2 people in here, and it's a big cavernous room, it really looks like it's a big cavernous room and no one's going to join in. But if it's more intimate, and then we grow as the number of guests grow, and that makes it for a really fun night. So it's a double story, sort of like a 1920s theme. It's called the Manor. It's a very alluring nightclub. And then in our main theatre, which was called the Red Room, we have a lot of really innovative live performances, and the space itself can be turned into 3 different spaces. You can have it as just completely no chairs, push of a button, all the chairs have disappeared, and it will be an interactive DJ style of experience where you'll have pop-up performances throughout. Or one of my favorite is you can have a central runway style stage with elevated seating on either side. And one of the things, I'll give you just a little insight, is one of the performances on board is like a Romeo and Juliet inspired performance, and depending upon which side of the stage that you sit on makes you a Montague supporter or a Capulet supporter. And then you're really working with the performers, and you're really supporting them and cheering them on. So it's a really unique experience. Or you can have the more traditional style of theatre where all of the seating is on one side with the stage in front of you. So there is really unique experiences. And all of our theatre shows are, when we did all of the spoke to a lot of guests and sailors before they came on board, what past cruises, and we did all these focus groups, and we were asking them, what do you like about it? And they said, well, we don't want to go to and see a watered down Broadway show, because if we wanted that, we could just go to Broadway. We want something different. So that's where that inspiration came from.
Yeah, it's absolutely different in the way that you've actually gone to the people
We've
first.
asked them all. Look, we've got
through those focus groups,
and
you've asked them personally. That's great.
And so, on some sailings, we're featuring some up-and-coming acts. We've got unexpected pop-up performances and stories under the stars, and there's like so many things. I can't even begin to tell you how many. There's just never before seen experiences on board.
We'll just have to get on board, though, won't we, Shaz?
We've
sorry, what was that?
Transformed the area into an area for Sparties, as in not parties, but Sparties. So, yeah, it's good. And even when you're at the gym, there's even an area where you can go to the gym and tonic bar and get your green smoothies and things like that. There are just so many innovative, unique things to do. But, when we get to the destinations, and I think cruising is really important about the destinations, and often you're not there long enough. So we've really made sure that on our ship, we spend as much time as possible in each destination. So you've got longer days in the destination where you can really enjoy the daytime and the nighttime experiences. Plenty of overnights, and we've designed it so that you'll actually have to come back and sail with us again, because you won't be able to do everything on the ship and see everything and the destinations all in one cruise. There's going to be, you'll be able to come and sail multiple times on Scarlet Lady, Valiant Lady, and her future sister ships.
I love the whole fun vibe on board the ships, because it sounds like there's a lot of, like you were saying before, Shaz, about the really innovative things that they're doing on board, but there's even like a tattoo parlor, there's an arcade game area as well, you've got seesaws, swings, milkshakes, and it really gives you that opportunity to tap into that inner child without having to kick the kids off.
Yeah, that's exactly
right.
So it is like that, because we are a no kids, we're an 18 plus cruise line. And a lot of people think, I wish I could take my kids. Honestly, you'll be over that within the first day. And the kids, we've got a great video that shows the kids going, oh, Mum, you deserve it. Go and have a great time with Dad. Go and have a lovely holiday. I'm going to stay here and be spoiled by Grandma and Granddad. It just takes that stress away, and thinking, don't feel guilty. You're going to have a great time without the kids. And the reason why we've chosen to make it an 18-plus cruise line is for the consistency of the experience. If you go on board a cruise during school holidays, there's so many more kids, and it changed the experience compared to outside school holidays. So, yeah, it's about a consistent experience all the way. And you mentioned the tattoo parlor. That's just one small part. Look, I don't have any tattoos. I'm not into tattoos, but it's not something.
I'm a chicken too, Shaz. Don't worry.
But there are people that like to get that holiday memory, and that may be something that they'll do. You probably find me more in the ice cream shop, which is called Lick Me Till Ice Cream. I think it's really fun. It's a really nice little play on words there. But I think,
they've done really well with it. I love it.
But it's fun, and it's fun, and it's funky, and as I've already said, it's innovative. But it's also everything you could expect for so much more. The value is amazing, really, really good value. And when you've got your clients that are ringing you, you'll be blown away yourself when you send them through the quotes and let them know how much it is and how much is included. Basically, there's over $600 included in every voyage that we've just thrown in.
Wow, that's incredible. I can't wait for cruising to come back.
And I think certainly for 2022, I encourage everybody to consider planning their summers in the Mediterranean. We've got some 3 7-night itineraries for them to consider, in and out of Barcelona, as I said, but, overnights in Monte Carlo, overnights in Ibiza in Spain. We're visiting Marseille in France, Sardinia in Italy. It's just spectacular. Or Toulon in France. Really, really nice itineraries that arrive in that port early in the morning and don't leave till later in the evening.
I love that. So you can get off and enjoy what the land has to offer, or also just hang out on board, whatever goes.
It's just it's lovely, and there's the central area, the central staircase. It reminds me of, I think it's the Guggenheim Museum in New York that has that central circular staircase, like the it's not even a staircase, but the winding. So that's what it sort of reminds me of internally. That's how I think of it anyway. It's just my personal opinion. Wow. So just saying, when you think cruising, think again, because if we set sail the Virgin Way, it's everything you would expect, but so much more, with incredible destinations from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean. So many decisions, and 2 more beautiful ships that will take us to incredible destinations around the world. No kids, as I've said, and we're not kidding about that. So you can bring your inner child. It's definitely more than welcome. And gastronomical heaven with 20 plus eateries, and they are all on us.
Sounds like a foodie paradise. I absolutely love the sounds of that.
Definitely.
All of those restaurants are all included, aren't they, Shaz?
In every restaurant, there is 1 or sometimes 2 upgrades that you can pay for. Like if you want to have the seafood tower in our steak and seafood restaurant, and you want to have a little bit of a splurge, there is 1 or 2 items on the menu that you can upgrade for at a small cost. But everything else, beautiful steaks, Mexican, whether it be Spanish eateries or vegetarian with the naughty meat sides, they're definitely all included. So we've got a test kitchen, which is a chemistry-inspired cooking lab. Plus it's got an experimental bar, that's all included. The Wake, which is where we are talking about, it's a theatrical take on steak and seafood. Razzle Dazzle, which is our veggie forward and meaty cheats restaurant. That's where you'll find our resident drag queens in there as well. So I love drag queens. I think it's an absolute hoot. So that's where you can go and find them, and they'll do drag queen bingo and just really fun things in there. Gun Bay, which is our lively Korean barbecue, and it's got a bit of a social edge. Everything on board, you don't have to book any of these restaurants, but you can book them for a certain time, or if you decide at the last minute, hey, I want to go to Gun Bay tonight, you can just jump in and join a virtual queue. So there's no queuing anywhere in any of the restaurants, and you will be told on your app, on your little smartphone on board, to say your table is ready, come along now. So you can really just change at the last moment. We've got a contemporary Mexican fare. It's called Pink Agave. The Dock, which is our Mediterranean sort of a mezzi-style social lounge where you can have tapas plates, etc. The pizza place, which I've talked about. We've got a casual Italian eatery called Extra Virgin, and it's also got a wine bar in there. In our galley, which is like a upmarket food hall, if you like, it's like a market-style food hall, and then you can go to all of the different, like the Taco Shack, and that's where we'll give you the tacos. There's a burger joint there. We'll create and make fresh burgers for you, so it's nothing that's been sitting there, and it's fresh to made orders. And then we've got, a coffee shop, the ice creams. That's just to name a couple of them.
Love it. I love it. How can sailors find out more about Virgin Voyages,
really. All they have to do is call you, Stephanie.
And I really think that your travel tip...
So it's not hard, isn't it? So, I don't know, do you put your details up here or...
Thank you. Yes, Shaz. And you're on Instagram and Facebook as well, just Virgin Voyages, and also the website, virginvoyages.com.au.
Yes, that's exactly right. So you can definitely find us on there. And everything and anything you need to know is definitely on there. And we encourage every guest out there that's listening to contact you, because they won't be disappointed. There's a lot of firsts. A lot of people like to collect cruise lines, and they like to collect doing something a little bit unique and different. This is definitely a collector's item.
I love that. And also I collect travel tips. Fits really well with the Virgin Voyages vibe. That is to halve the amount of clothing and double
you'll have
the
a much
spending
better time.
money.
You don't have to worry about it.
Oh, thank you.
No problems at all. I hope I've inspired many listeners to really consider Virgin Voyages for their next cruise experience. I sincerely mean that, and know that you won't be disappointed.
Thank you, Shaz. Time to open up the borders.
Let's get
do
out
it.
there.
Thank you so much, Shaz, for your time today. It's been an incredible episode, and yes, can't wait to get out there and explore the world once again and do it the Virgin
Thanks,
way.
Stephanie. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Shaz. Bye. If you're reeling from that episode, you're not the only one. Virgin Voyages have done extremely amazing things in the tourism industry, and I'm so stoked to have them as part of the CLIA community as well, which is the Cruise Lines International Association, which I'm a part of as an accredited cruise consultant. I look forward to seeing great things from Virgin Voyages and also getting some clients on board as well. Some key takeaways were in today's episode is that it's adults only, all about the fun, all about the wellness, and all about just being yourself and bringing out that little rebel that's hidden deep inside all of us and bringing her out to play. If you've enjoyed this episode, head over to travelbystephanie.com.au/25 to catch all the show notes from today's episode. And if you're enjoying the podcast, head over to Apple Podcasts and leave me a 5-star rating and review. And make sure you've subscribed on Apple Podcasts and also followed on Spotify. Bon voyage, and I'll catch up with you over on my socials. See you soon.
And sometimes my mommy just got it. He's a travel agent all day. He works so hard. He's a travel agent and loves me.